Hey, what's up YouTube? Tom here at Birds Blades. So today we're taking a look at this Kizer tie-in. This is actually a custom Kizer tie-in. They ship it out in this nice little package and they give you a Kizer sticker and then this little Swags chili pepper. It's kind of a neat little sticker. I do like how Kizer sends their blades out with little nylon sheaths, or at least this one anyway. Maybe not a sheath, but just a little nylon packing. It's kind of neat. Diving into the knife anyway, I suppose we'll start off with some specs. So these things are coming in at $159 on Kizer's website. Overall length on them from tip to butt is 6.93 inches. Handle length is 4.02 inches. Blade length on them is 2.91 inches. So that is over or under a 3-inch blade for people that can't carry a 3-inch blade. It is under, that's nice to know. Blade thickness is 0.12 inches. And then the weight of this thing is coming in at 3.67 ounces. So it is a smaller knife. I mean, I have small to medium size hands and I take up almost the entire knife. You can see I don't know. If you got big hands, you're probably going to have an issue with this just due to the fact that it is such a small knife. Actually, for comparison here, I'll pull out, I have a Spyderco Paramilitary 2. I guess that'd be a good comparison knife. You can see just how small this knife is. For another comparison, I suppose, since not everybody knows the Paramilitary 2, might be more familiar with Benchmades. I have this Benchmade Mini Presidio. That's the Benchmade Mini Presidio 2. You can see it is quite a small knife. I don't know, just a few comparisons. Back to this knife though. Ergonomically, this thing is a dream. There are no hot spots to speak of. I can choke way up on here. So this actually used to be a flipper. I suppose I'll probably start there. This used to be a flipper and I actually cut the flipper tab off and I polished it down to attempt to match the blade finish. You can see there is a transition line there. It's not 100% perfect, but I think it's pretty darn good. Looking at the knife, I don't think you would ever really guess that there used to be a flipper tab there. Anyway, going on to the handle, or sticking with the handle, I should say. These are full titanium handle scales. You can see there are no liners in here, and they actually did a little bit of internal milling just to keep the weight down on this knife. I appreciate it. They put the balance, or well, I guess the balance of this knife is kind of a little bit back heavy. It's right there is the balance point, but that's not bad. It pretty nimble. I don't know, EDC knife. Overall, it's good. This does have a steel insert, you can see, or a stainless steel insert on the lock bar, which I actually really like because you don't get lock stick. There's zero lock stick on this knife. Lock up is pretty good. Looks like not quite 50%, maybe like 48% ish. I don't know, around there. Good lock up though. Action. This thing fires right open. Really smooth action. Good action, I like it. Drop shot, I suppose, let's see. No, not drop shot, kind of a shake shot, but hey, that's alright too. Just stick with the handle anyway. These handle scales are very slightly anodized purple. You can see it in the spots where I don't have my greasy little hand grease all over the knife. You can see down in these low areas, right up against a pocket clip, you can kind of see where it has that like purplish golden, almost like a hue to it a little bit, and then down in these, like, I don't know what you call them, like fullers maybe. I don't know, it makes for a really neat look. You do have a anodized aluminum backspacer with a lanyard hole on it. Personally, I don't run lanyard holes on my knife, so that doesn't sway me one way or the next on here. But it is, I guess, nice that they do offer that. To tie into the backspacer, they have this anodized aluminum insert in the pocket clip. I think that's kind of neat. It ties it all in. And then the pivot ring, or I guess that little ring around the pivot, is also an anodized aluminum. It just ties in the whole aesthetic of the knife on the pocket side. The show side, you don't have the pocket clip, so you just have the ring and the backspacer. But hey, it still looks cool. Access to the lock bar is dreamy. There's all the access you could ever think of. I don't think running this knife with gloves would be an issue, just because of how much access there is to that lock bar. You can see there. Really good. They did, on these handle scales, they did kind of do a little bit of milling here too to match the fuller on the blade, which I actually really like. It's aesthetically pleasing. It ties into the blade nice. It makes the transition all nice and smooth. Because if you didn't have the fuller and you didn't have this, you would kind of have a whole lot of like milling and swervy, curvy lines all over the handle, and then you just drop right into the blade and it wouldn't really tie in. So I like how they did that anyway. I guess to move on to the blade now, you do have jimping on the top spine of the blade here that goes like 3/4 of the way down the blade. I love that. That's awesome. You can reach way out with your thumb and still be locked in, have plenty of traction, not sliding anywhere. That's awesome. This is a drop point blade. I do really like drop point blades, especially for EDC tasks. They're good at puncturing, slicing, almost anything. It's a really universal blade shape, pretty utilitarian. Like I said earlier, they have this fuller running down like most of the blade there right in the middle, and that ties in nicely with the handle. You can see that the blade is an S35 VN steel blade, which S35 VN, I really like the steel. It's good steel. It makes for a good EDC blade. It's relatively easy to sharpen, holds an edge for decently well, I guess. I don't know, I like it. Looking at the grinds here, these grinds do seem pretty even. Yeah, that tip is reflecting light there, but yeah, the grinds are really even. Not really anything to complain about there on the grinds. This is a Styles design. You can see down there on the box, I believe it mentions. Yeah, on the box it says Jonathan Style. So he would be the designer of this knife. I think he did a really good job. It's a really elegant, maybe would be the word to describe it. I really like it. Ergonomically, it's awesome. You can pinch grip this thing all day long. And what really kind of set me over on this knife was removing that flipper tab. Personally, I am not a fan of flippers on my knives. I like to get right up on the blade if I can. And just, I don't know, something about flippers I just don't like when you got a piece of metal sticking out down there. It's just, it does not do it for me. And then when it's in your pocket folded up, you got metal sticking out over here. Just, you bang your hand on it when you're reaching and all. I don't know, just don't like them. So I cut that off, polished it up. I think it fits the bill for the knife. This is a really sweet looking knife now, in my opinion. I don't know, comment down below. For $159, I think this is I would say a fair price for a full titanium frame lock with an S35 VN steel blade, and the blade is coming in under 3 inches. That doesn't matter for me personally, but it is a good option, I guess, if you can't carry a knife with a blade of 3 inches. Overall, sweet knife. If you liked the video, leave a like. Comment down below what you'd like to see me do next, and until next time, have a good one. Thanks for watching.